Okay. Hello everyone. Thank you for joining on this live stream today. So this is the 25th of May and this is on Tuesday. So let's get started and see what's happening in the market now. So yeah, for myself, I don't have any trades, no positions for me because I see some trends, I see some pairs are trending, but I was busy all day today, so no trades for myself. So let's see what's happening at the moment. So, but before starting here, just a quick disclaimer. This information today is basically based on my own understanding, experience, knowledge. So when you take trades, please do at your own risk. Okay, so let me start. So yeah, let me say hi to everyone first. Good to see you again. Thank you for joining once again. Alright, so Rush and Asif, Christopher, Melanie, good to see you here. David and Jorg, Haradul, good to see you here too. And James, thank you for joining. Good to see you too. Alright, and Henry, Hani and Wong, Jay, and Tam, good to see you too. Alright, Shamal and Stallone, yes sir, Orvin, thank you for joining. Good to see you here. Monoron, Ninad, Dinesh, thank you for joining. Pal, good to see you too. Alright. Alright, Yoron, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining here. Good to see you again, as always. Yeah, Danish, thank you for joining from UK. Good to see you here again. And Kayon, thank you for joining. Aditya, good to see you too. So I took a day off yesterday because there was no trending markets, trending pairs. And also, I wanted to read books. I have a couple of books that I haven't read it yet. So I decided to take a day off yesterday and read the books. So today, looks like the market is a bit trending and ranging. Euro pairs and Swiss franc pairs are trending on higher time frames. So I will take a look at these pairs first. Okay, Mars, Essa, alright, Celine, good to see you, CG, Mustafa, and Dayon, Hussein, and thank you for joining. Nindip, good to see you too. So let me start from this Swiss franc JPY. I've seen that the Swiss franc pairs are trending today, so let me focus on these pairs first. So Swiss franc pairs, first of all, Swiss franc JPY is now uptrending on the daily chart, but now the close price is still above the previous high, at least 121.52, and we have this Kumo, Senko span B up and A is up, and Kijun Sen Tenkan Sen up, and Chikou span above the candles. So in this situation, technically it's bullish as per Ichimoku, but we have to always look at the previous highs and lows. In this case, there was a previous high at this 121.52 level, so the market might consolidate or retrace backwards. And this is the reason why I don't really look for the buying edge on this one. So because once again the market is kind of close to the previous high here. If I zoom out the chart, then looks like this is all-time high since 2017, but we had this previous high here back in 2016, so that means the market might retrace backwards from here too. And with that in mind, you look for the buy chance. So that means you have to get ready to exit whenever the market retraces backwards. And especially on this, like a Swiss franc pairs are kind of like very spiky. It's high volatile in lower time frames. So when you take trades on the Swiss franc pairs, you have to be careful for the retracement as always. So once again, this is up. Swiss franc JPY looks to be uptrending on the daily chart, but the only thing is that this is the Swiss franc JPY and it can reverse backwards anytime soon. And this is the daily candlestick, so you better wait for until today's daily candle close, because we never know. It might close below the previous resistance level and it might become a pin bar like this way, and from tomorrow it might reverse backwards to Kijun Sen this way. So this is a situation where you have to be careful whether the market is still wanting to break up or not. And my recommendation here in this case is stay away in the chart. So this is also about the price action too. And also I look at the Tokyo Box Breakout because this is a JPY pair. So let me go down to 1 hour chart, and the Tokyo Box Breakout happened exactly on this candlestick. So at 121.614 level, there was a Tokyo Box Breakout, but now it's retracing backwards. So I think from this reason too, there's no stable trend. So from here, the market might continue to go downwards, and as a result, this part became a fake out. So in this situation, once again on the daily chart, as per Ichimoku and price action, I would wait until today's candle close, and if it closes above the previous resistance level at 121.520 level, if the today's candlestick closes above, then I would look for buy chance for tomorrow. But if it doesn't happen, then the market might retrace backwards, so simply I stay away from the market. So this is very important. So this is a bit advanced analysis, because I say that based on my strategy, you follow the Kumo and Kijun Sen directions, and also the Chikou span location is important, and that's true because in this case, in the long term, the market can go up this way. But if you see the chart today, especially after the London Open today, the market looks to be retracing. So you don't want to be in the trade in this case, because in the daily basis, the market might retrace backwards to the Kijun Sen. So, market changes every day, and every hour or every minute it changes. So we have to be adapted to the markets and see how the market is moving and which way it's going is very important. And also I look at the weekly chart. As mentioned on Sunday's live stream, on the weekly chart, this is uptrending. On the weekly chart, the Kumo Senko span B is up and A is up, Tenkan Sen, Kijun Sen both uptrending, and also Chikou span above the candles too. So in this weekly chart, this is bullish. And also in the daily chart, this is bullish too, because the Kumo's up and Kijun Sen, Tenkan Sen also pointing upwards, and Chikou span above the candles. So this is bullish in the daily chart also. So then you have to look for where to buy in this condition. And now, as you see here on this current forming chart, forming candlestick, this might become a reversal pin bar, and it might go backwards. And you can see the details by looking at the lower time frames. So I also look at the 1 hour chart or 30-minute chart and see if these lower time frames or the mid time frames are still uptrending too. And we can see that the Kumo's flat, Kijun-sen flat simply. So in this condition, the market can retrace backwards to Kijun-sen in 1 hour chart or the daily chart, or it can retrace backwards to the Kumo in 1 hour chart. And so whenever you see this retracement, you never want to be in the trade, because we're not sure how far it retraces backwards. And based on this 1 hour chart, there was a previous resistance level at 121.463 level. So it can come downwards to that level and be supported and goes upwards this way, because as we said earlier, the weekly chart and also the daily chart are uptrending. So we can also expect that this 1 hour chart is also going up this way. But at this moment, the price is dropping down, retracing backwards, and we're not sure how far it can retrace backwards. If you're not using Ichimoku, then you can also check the Fibonacci levels. And sometimes Fibonacci levels actually go along with the Kijun-sen support or Senkospan A or Senkospan B support. So in this case, I see that the beginning of the uptrend started here at 1 p.m. on the 25th of May today, and the high was up here, the 25th of May at 7 p.m. in UTC time zone. So it's been uptrending here and it's retracing backwards. So that means the market is downtrending. It broke the 38% and now it's about to break the 50% level. So it might bounce on this 61.8% level, and if it bounces like that, then we can look for the buy chance afterwards. Or it can be bouncing on this 50% level too. And whenever we see this retracement or this pushback, then we can always look for the buying edges. So that's one thing, because basically on the daily chart or weekly chart, this is uptrending. So that's one thing I wanted to elaborate today for this Swiss franc JPY to be uptrending. And also let me elaborate the euro dollar today. So euro dollar on the daily chart is about to break the previous high, but I wouldn't say that this is a breakout yet, because still I can see that the daily candlestick is forming, and there was a previous high level here at this 1.2247 level. So it might be retracing backwards from here too. So this is where you have to be very careful and very cautious about the risk management, because the market is reaching toward the previous high. So always make sure to draw the lines based on daily resistance support or weekly resistance supports, so that you can expect if the market is going to be retracing or not. So today it's breaking upwards, but I don't say it broke upwards yet, because this candlestick is forming on the daily chart. And as per Ichimoku lines, the Kumo Senko span B is up and A is up, and also Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen are up too, and Chikou span above the candles too. So this is bullish, and we can expect the market goes up on the consecutive N waves like this way. So after the consolidation and after the market seems to breaking upwards this way, it can break, and after the breakout, it might retrace backwards and test the previous resistance level, and it continue to go up this way. Or it might be, this might become a fake out, and it can retrace backwards to Kijun Sen, Tenkan Sen, and continue to go up this way too. So this is where the scenario is very important to keep in mind. It might retrace backwards, and with that in my head, I would be looking for the buy chance. But as soon as I see the market retrace backwards, then I will simply exit, because we're not sure how far the market keeps retracing afterwards. And then if I see these bounces, then I will look for the buy chance afterwards. So I think today's live stream is a bit practical, but I think this is good to know because we cannot really trust the Ichimoku, Tenkan Sen, Kijun Sen, and also the Kumo directions. We can refer to it, but it's nothing to trust. And I think it's the same for any indicators or any strategies. These signals are here to create the scenarios in the future, but they're not here to trust, in my opinion. So you can create scenarios if you know more knowledge about the markets, more knowledge about the indicators, but these are not for making decisions. Okay, so I think it's very important to keep in mind. So now it's going up for sure. This is an N wave, bullish, and it looks to be uptrending, but we're not so sure if the market is going to break the previous resistance or not is a key. Alright, let's see. Alright, Mr. Fernandez, thank you for joining here. And Guy, good to see you too. Thank you for joining as well. So yeah, I don't have any trades today. No trades for me. I was busy all day, so no trades for me. Orvin says, oh, hello Marison, sorry. Hello Marison, thank you for joining. Good to see you too. Orvin says, I got the break even in EURUSD and stop loss in the EURUSD. That's good. So you have to be exited. Whenever you see the market retracing backwards in lower time frames, then basically that's when I exit. Hello Karim, thank you for joining. Good to see you here. Yes, my throat is not really in good condition, and also this morning I felt a bit strange in my body. So yeah, so today I do the live stream, but I don't think I will do this a long time. And also I had a long day today, so I had to go see an attorney, and also yeah, a couple of other things I have to do. So until I move to Dubai, I still have lots of things to do in Japan. This is like finalizing the move to Dubai. So yeah, it takes time, but this is for my next step, so that's why I basically do this. Alright, Kayon, thank you for the reminder. So if you liked it, please press a good button. Thank you for these. Alright, Gustavo, good to see you too. Thank you for joining. And Mark here, good to see you here too. Pavel, oh, the mouse icon driving me crazy, so I will try not to move a lot. Yeah. Okay. So Rosh says, Kei-san, in EURUSD, would you look a buy in 1 hour chart or entering the breakout sooner. I wouldn't look for any buy chances yet on this Euro USD because it's kind of resisted at the previous resistance level. I don't see any clear breakout on the daily chart. So let me look at the 1 hour chart, for example. And in 1 hour chart, the Kumo's flat and Kijun-sen flat. So looks like the market has been supported by this Tenkan-sen, and it might go up this way, but it might drop down to the Kijun-sen. So this is like the 50-50 chance. So I don't take this 50-50 chance whenever I take trades. I make sure that the market is bullish in multiple time frames, and then finally I take trades then. And when it's retracing backwards this way, then simply I stay away. It's my trade strategy. So it might retrace backwards to the Kijun-sen in 1 hour chart or this previous resistance level at 1.2240 level. It might retrace backwards and can bounce because, as we saw earlier on the weekly chart, on the daily chart, it's too bullish. So there is higher probability for the market to go up continuously. But now in this mid time frame, in 1 hour chart or even 30-minute chart, it's retracing backwards. So when I see this retracement, I never take trades because we're not sure how far the market retraces backwards at this moment. It might retrace once again backwards to the Kijun-sen or the Fibonacci levels 61.8% on the daily chart, but the only thing is that we're not sure how far the market retraces backwards. So that's why I don't take the trade where we're not sure how far the market retraces. So this is when I avoid taking trades in this condition. Alright, Tolga, thank you for joining here. Nidip says, please give me for setting of Ichimoku. I use the default Ichimoku indicator, default settings. So yeah, as Yorun says, yeah, I use the 9, 26, and 52. I have tried a couple of other settings, as SMH says. I've tried the other settings. I made it a bit shorter on Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen, Kumo, and once I made it longer on this Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen, Kumo too, and backtesting like that. And also I was shifting Kumo like a 17 to the future, 9 to the future, or a 33 or 42 to the future. And also Chikou span too. I used to like shift the Chikou span with this Kihon Suchi numbers, but I found that the default setting will be the best to work. So that's why afterwards I basically stick to this original settings of Ichimoku. Alright, Jagdish and Thesu, thank you for joining. Good to see you here too. Okay, gold and okay, Sorash and Michael says that gold is breaking out in forward chart. All right. So let me check gold and see what's happening right now. So I look at the daily chart. Okay, on the daily chart in gold, this is bullish. This breakout of the previous high made the Tenkan span B up and A up, and Kijun-sen, Tenkan-sen both upwards now. And Chikou span above the candles. So this is bullish on the daily chart basis. So simply, I look for the buy chance in this condition. And with that in mind, I look at the 1 hour chart. So I look at the 1 hour chart and I see the breakout. There was a breakout exactly at this 429 level. There's a breakout and it is breaking the previous resistance level but I don't say that it broke the previous resistance level yet, because this 1 hour chart candlestick is still forming. So in this situation, whenever I see the market breaks out, then I wait for the candle close. In this situation, I wait for the 1 hour candlestick close and make sure the close price is above the previous resistance level. And if it closes above, like here, like what we see here, then the market can retrace and goes backwards, upwards like this way. But if it closes below the previous resistance level, then it might become a double top. It might become a double top like this, and the market might go backwards, or it might be in the range like this way. So in this situation, I wait for the next about like a 30 minutes or so, and wait for the candle close in 1 hour chart. I used to jump in to the market in this condition, and I get the fake outs and the market retraces backwards and I get losses. So that was my big lesson. So now I don't jump into the market when it looks to be breaking the previous resistance or support levels. I make sure to wait for the candle close and make sure that the market goes towards the direction or not. Otherwise, no trade. And this is about the price action. And also in this situation, you can tell from the Ichimoku lines is that the you can tell from this 1 hour Kumo. And 1 hour Kumo is very tiny, very thin like this. The Senko span BA are moving up, but theirs are very thin. So that means this is overshooting. So that also means that the market can retrace backwards this way in the short term. But if the Kumo is forming nicely thicker and longer, then we can trust more on this breakout. But at this moment, the Kumo is way too thin to trust the breakout, so I expect that the market retraces backwards. So simply in this situation, I stay away. And you can do this in the 30-minute chart too. In 30-minute chart, now the Kumo flat and Kijun-sen, Tenkan-sen flat. So this is bullish, but here, usually when we see this big bullish candlestick, and if the market loses its direction, then it retraces backwards, and it goes into the P wave or this squeezing triangle usually. So basically, this is what I expect the market to happen, because beforehand, when we saw this huge breakout, the Kumo was very thin. If I can move back the candles a bit, just one candlestick before, then you saw the breakout, but in 30-minute chart too, this Kumo is very thin like this. So when you see this very thin Kumo like this, I expect the market retraces backwards. But not always. It can of course bounce the previous resistance level or Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen, and it goes up this way. And when it happens, then I will look for buy chance somewhere here. But it might also reverses backwards in this situation, because the Kumo is very thin in 30 in 1 hour chart when it breaks. So this is where I avoid taking trades. I can see that the market is gonna overshoot it in the mid time frames, and it might retrace backwards, or it might consolidate a bit more in couple of hours or days. So I think this is a bit, like this is where I would stay away, personally speaking. Okay, so yeah, let me come back to some comments here. Irvin, that's right. Yeah, you have to be patient. Yeah, patience is the key. But at the same time, you cannot be too patient. At some point, you have to take chance. So I say patience is very important, but at the same time, I think the balance is also important too. Patience and also take chance or take trades. This balance is very important. Yeah. So simply speaking, you have to follow the rules and take trades until the market meets on these conditions. Simply you stay away. And by adding these correct Ichimoku knowledges and also experience, then you know when to wait and when to be in the trade, like this. Hello Roy and Bestie Annie. Thank you for joining. Good to see you here too. Okay, let's see. Alright, Sander says similar chart like gold is being seen in an Indian stock markets in 1 time frame. Okay, so whenever it shoots up, then make sure you watch the Kumo structure. When you see this very thin Kumo like 30-minute chart or 1 hour chart, then you have to stay away. It might retrace backwards in the short term. So let me come back to the current forming candlestick. So now it's retracing backwards. Let me go to the 5-minute chart. On these lower time frames, you can see more detailed price action. So I see 5-minute chart and I don't use the Ichimoku in these lower time frames. So let me cancel the Ichimoku. And you can see that the market is retracing backwards now. It was a bullish wave in 5-minute chart and now it's retracing backwards. So you can tell from this 5-minute chart too that this is not a good timing to buy yet. We have to see the pushback and buy. Otherwise, it might retrace all the way backwards to the previous support level. So make sure that you don't take the 50-50 chance, or make sure you don't see the market trending direction as major time frame, because this is when I usually stay away from the market. Mustafa says, may I ask that you take positions with leverage? Yes, I do, but I focus more on the risk per trade than the leverage. I usually take 2% risk per trade, and that's my rule. Either 1% or 2% rules is a key. So yeah, you have the stop loss. So in this case, let's say you buy here, and the stop loss will be below the previous low. Maybe you can take this support level, or you might want to take the stop loss here. But depending on, well actually, yeah, whether you take the first stop loss or second stop loss, the risk to the stop loss should be 2%. This risk should be 2%, and this is what I do every time I take trades. So I calculate the lot sizing according to how much I have in account and calculate the risk per trade every time I do. Before, I didn't do that. I was thinking to risk per trade in the pips, but not as a percentage, and that was my big mistake. So now afterwards, I calculate the risk per trade 2%, and I calculate the lot sizing, and then take trades. Alright, SMH, thank you for joining here on the first time. Good to see you here. Hopefully you learned something new on my YouTube channel. Alright, Alexander, thank you for joining too. Good to see you here. So I take trades, or actually I see charts and analyze charts based on Ichimoku Kinko Hyo in higher time frames. But when it comes to taking trades, I see price actions and lines, and also for supportive purposes, I use the Bollinger Band, stochastics, and Tokyo Box, Fibonacci Levels, and I use other indicators on these lower time frames. Because I found that in these lower time frames, Ichimoku is a bit lagging to confirm the trading edges. So I only use Ichimoku in higher time frames. On the daily chart, 4-hour chart, or weekly chart, or 1-hour chart, I use Ichimoku, but not on these lower time frames. Yeah. Okay. Rodko, thank you for joining. Good to see you here. Barkutala says pound JPY. Alright, so let me check the pound JPY. Okay, pound JPY on the daily chart is now flat. There is no bullishness in the market because the Kumo flat, this Kumo Senko span B flat, A flat, and Kijun Sen flat. So it might retrace backwards to Kijun Sen. So this is not a good timing to look for buy chance. Simply speaking, that's a rule. And let's see. Rodko says, could you give your view on today's Euro USD pound? Alright, so let me check Euro USD pound. I think USD pound is I see pound USD. So let me talk about the pound dollar. And pound dollar on the daily chart is now still ranging, consolidating, because the Kumo flat, Kijun Sen flat, and the market is at the previous resistance level at this 1.4244 level. So the market might retrace backwards to Tenkan Sen or Kijun Sen or Kumo here. So this is, I would say that this is not a good timing to look for buy chance on lower time frames. This is not a double top yet. You might think that this is double top because you see these two tops here, and you might expect the market goes downwards this way. But in my opinion, it's not true because this is too bullish. So from here, exactly on the 12th of April, it's been consecutive bullish waves like this way. So we can expect the market breaks upwards this way continuously. On this daily resistance level, it can break upwards. But at the same time, Kumo flat to Kijun Sen flat, so that means it might retrace backwards to Kijun Sen or Kumo. So that means we can expect the bullish waves, but it can retrace backwards to Kijun Sen or Kumo and continue to go up this way too. So there is a potential retracement in this situation. So in this case, you don't look for the buy chance. And once it breaks the neckline of about 1.36717 level, then it can be bearish. This is going to be a double top. When we finally saw this neckline breakout, and then the market can go downwards this way. And by then, we should see the Tenkan Sen, Kijun Sen dead cross, Chikou Span breakout, and Kumo twist to bearish. So with this double top structure, when we saw this twist or reversal confirmation with Ichimoku, then you look for the sell chance, not the buy chance anymore in that condition. Celine and Toga, thank you for joining. Good to see you here. Alright, Mr. Fernandez, and let's see. Alright, Gabby, thank you for joining too. Good to see you again. Alright, Priyo, thank you for joining too. Yeah, Red Call, you're welcome. Temba says, which is your favorite indicator? I would say Ichimoku Kinko Hyo is my favorite indicator because it not only gives me the view of the market, but also I learned so much from Ichimoku indicator itself. By studying the original books of Ichimoku, and also by studying from past charts and markets, I learned a lot from Ichimoku indicator, and that's why Ichimoku is my favorite indicator. Alright, okay, dollar JPY, let me check that one. Dollar JPY on daily chart it's flat in ranging because the Kumo flat simply, and Kijun Sen has been still very close with the candles, and the price is exactly in the Kumo now. So this is ranging, so we cannot know which way it's going. It might go up or down, and we don't know which way it's going as per Ichimoku confirmation, so simply you better stay away. You better focus on the trending pairs or trending markets than this one, is my opinion. Hachi, thank you for joining here, good to see you. What about Bitcoin? So Bitcoin is still bearish. I saw it a couple of hours ago, and this still looks to be bearish. The Kumo's sloping down, and Kijun Sen flat, but Chikou span below the candles, and the price is still below the Tenkan Sen, Kijun Sen on this daily chart, so it can go down this way. Or it could be in a range for a couple of more days or weeks. So if this were the Forex pair, then I would stay away to take trades on this one. So myself is a Forex full-time trader, and I mainly trade the Forex pairs on the major ones, minor ones, and also I take trades on gold. But I don't take trades on stock markets, indexes, or cryptocurrencies. So I can see charts by Ichimoku and share my view in the market, but yeah, it's just that I don't take trades. So fundamentally, I'm not sure which way it's going. But if you use the Ichimoku 5 lines, then I would say that this is the ranging market. There is no trend retracing backwards, but this is more of the bearish side. So it can go down more because the price is below the Tenkan Sen still. And the Chikou span also below the candles. So this is a bit bearish to me. Rudy says, do you think Euro AUD, we can wait for a retracement and jump in for a buy with wave target? Euro AUD, let's see. But I would say that never to jump into the market. If you see a trending market, then you can be in the trade. So let me see, Euro AUD. So this is still consolidating because the Ichimoku Kumo is up, but Kijun Sen flat, and we had this yesterday on Monday, on the 24th of May, it was this a pin bar, and now it's bullish, but it might be resisted at the top and can go backwards to Kijun Sen or Tenkan Sen. So unless the market breaks the previous resistance level at this 1.5819 level, I would say that the market is still consolidating, retracing backwards. Kenchu says, hi Kay, every time 1 hour candle close above the resistance line, then can we place a buy order? Even you find the breakout in 1 hour chart, you have to see other parts of the market. You have to, for example, look at the lower time frames and see if this breakout is valid or not on the lower time frames, then take trades. Orvin says US oil had buy potential maybe tomorrow or Thursday. Alright, we'll see. This is, yeah, crude oil is still bullish, so we'll see which way it's going. Alexander says, Sensei, please check gold in 5-minute charts to analyze the good moment to entry. Let me see. So let me come back to the gold. And on the daily chart, it's bullish. In 1 hour chart, it's retracing backwards. So in 5, what I will be doing is that I will make sure this pushback is decent or not. So I see the market in the 5-minute chart as this consecutive N wave. So if the market continues to go up this way, then I want to see if this bounce is decent or not. And to do that, one of the ways is to draw the trend line. You can draw the trend line, and as long as the market is above the trend line, then it can be bullish like this way. So that's one thing. That's one of the ways. And also, you can use the Fibonacci level. You can use Fibonacci level from this, the most recent low in 5 and the most recent high in 5-minute chart. And you can see that this bounce is exactly at the 61.8%. So according to the higher time frames, if this is becoming a decent bounce, then we can expect the market goes up afterwards. So this is one of the ways to capture which way the market is going on these lower time frames. So I would say that it's a good buy chance right now on gold because it looks to be still bullish. It still looks to be a consecutive bullish wave after the breakout. But once the market comes backwards to the previous low, then that should be an exit timing. Because afterwards, the market can go down on the consecutive bearish waves, and it can go all the way down like this way afterwards. And as a result, today, on the daily chart, it becomes like a pin bar. The wick will be pointing upwards, and the close price will become below the resistance level. And from tomorrow, the market could be sold or could consolidate. So I would say that once you have the reverse in the waves in 5, then you have to exit in this condition. Because once again, in the daily chart and 30-minute chart, the Kumo is very tiny, very thin. In 1 hour chart, the Kumo, as you can see, is very thin like this. And also in 30-minute chart, this is also flat. Flat Kumo, flat Kijun Sen. So we cannot really focus on the uptrend in this case. It can retrace backwards to the Kijun Sen or Kumo in 30 or 1 hour chart in this condition. Yep. Okay. Kofutai, thank you for joining. Good to see you here. Nifty index. Alright, Jashesh, let's see. Nifty index. Let me see. So I look at the daily chart, and Nifty has broken the previous high level, and now this is on the consecutive N waves. So I would say that this is bullish. there was a retest of the descending trend line, and now it's gone up this way. So we have the Kumo up, Kijun Sen, Tenkan Sen up, Chikou span above the candles, so it can go higher and higher this way, is my opinion on Nifty. Let me check the 1 hour chart. In 1 it's flat. In 1 it's flat, Kumo flat, Kijun Sen. So, but this is too bullish. It can go up on the bullish wave like this way. But once the market breaks the previous support level at 15144.445 level, if the market breaks that level, then you cannot look for the buy chance anymore, because it might continue to go down afterwards this way. But as long as you see this bullishness in 1 hour chart, and if you see this consecutive bullish waves in 1 hour chart, then that will be a buy. So better to create these two scenarios all the time. If the market goes towards upwards, then what's gonna happen? If the market starts to retrace back from here, then what's gonna happen? Then what would you do when you are taking trades is the key. Sander says in Euro AUD, one can price a small stop loss above the recent high and take a reversal trade until at least the Tenkan Sen. Yeah, that will be a scalping. Yeah, that will be scalping. Yeah, myself is not a scalper, so I don't say that in a scalping way. But yeah, if you can go against the major direction, then that will be a scalper, and you can close the trade in like 5 or 10 minutes or so. Yeah, Alexander, you're welcome here. You're welcome. Jagadesh says a gold in 5-minute chart should be good accumulations. Yeah, it's retracing backwards, so we'll see if the market is going to be bouncing with the Fibonacci level or the trend line in 5, and then you can have the setups to buy. Yeah, Pavel and Jaishen, you're welcome too. You're welcome. Okay, so I guess I will be ending the live stream for today. So once again, my throat condition was not really good, so but hopefully you were able to get something new from today's live stream. So tomorrow is a Wednesday, and tomorrow could be the video or live stream. So I will see you tomorrow. So yeah, I guess I think yeah, the market is a bit tricky this year, especially after the March. We see retracements on higher time frames and no trends in higher time frames. So I think this is where we have to stay away, and we have to be very cautious about the risk management. And I would say that the market is not really stably trending, but in other words, I would say that this is a good chance for us to nail the risk management down in this situation. So please take this opportunity for the risk management or quick exit or break-even strategies when the market retraces backwards so quickly like these days, so that you can protect your asset and still be able to take trades in the long run. Okay, so thank you for joining once again, and I will see you on the next one. So until then, please stay healthy, stay safe, and stay gold. Alright, thank you everyone. Mata ne.